So anyone else tried that program? I also send one quiz. I don't see any responses. Did you complete it or not? చేశారా క్విజ్ క్వశ్చన్స్? Okay, so from today onwards, I'll give answers also after completion of the quiz. Okay. Okay, I'll give answers later. We'll continue the Spring Core module annotations. Yesterday we studied some example on a Spring XML configuration. Right? In XML, we see that there is an XML file with beans tag. Okay, there we configure with our class name and corresponding variables what data needs to be injected. Right? Today we'll go for annotations. Okay, XML is a very old approach. Like companies are not using much. Okay, everyone using annotations only. So with the annotation, how to configure? What we did yesterday, XML, same thing we'll try to do with the annotations. Okay, why we need to go for annotations? First, we need to go for annotations. We already have XML file configuration. Okay, that is working fine. But why should go for the annotations? What is the reason for that?
Property tags, bean tags active చేయకుండా annotations ఉంటుంది.
Okay, so where is the XML file? Okay, XML file. Okay, this is the XML file. I'm taking again into our code instead of again D folder. Yesterday I pasted here in SRC. This is, so if I paste here, it will come directly inside a SRC folder. Inside SRC folder. If I use here class path, what is meaning of class path? That should be available to our project location or code execution location. Okay, if I place in different place, maybe different location in our my D drive, C drive, like that, that is not our class path. That is specific to our drive. Okay, if we want to provide our external resource, we can provide through file system XML. If we want to give as a class path location, we can give the class path XML application context. Okay, this difference is simple. Okay, if the XML file is in our class path or project location, we can give directly the class path XML. If we want to give different location, we can give the file system resource application context. Okay, so today we are going with the annotations. Okay, same Spring applications want to work with annotations. What we can do? What we have to learn? What are different annotations there in the Spring Core? Okay, right now I'm going with only Spring Core. Later, once we go to different modules, we'll discuss about their specific annotations. Okay, first one is component. Okay, second one is component scan. Okay, component scan, bean annotation, BEAN. Okay, you can use bean. Okay, configuration class, sorry, configuration annotation. Okay, I'll go each one. What is the purpose? When to use what? Okay, configuration, and we have like a scope annotation. Okay, scope, value, yes, main auto void. Okay, qualifier. Okay, controller not required, and repository. Okay, being already told. Okay, these are some main important Spring Core annotations. There are many, Yes, I'm telling about some importance. So if we talk about component, this has multiple tails. Okay, this has 3 tails. The 3 cells are, I'm writing one by one here. Component is a parent, and tails are, these are controller, okay, repository or service, repository. Okay, we'll start one by one by using these examples. Spring core annotations, we build some simple applications. Okay, what is component scan? First, we'll go for, instead of component scan, we'll go for, okay, qualifier, auto, okay, component scan fine. So component scan purpose is, we want to make, okay, we want to make any class. Okay, what is the first one? Component, or component fine. So first one is component. So it is a parent of, below 3 annotations. What are those? First one is controller. Second one is service. Third one is repository. Okay, third one is repository. What is controller, service, repository? These are some layers. These are some layers. So before that, I'll discuss one general example how our application look like. Okay, how our application look like in companies. So when we completed our code, okay, that code should be divided into multiple layers. Okay, example, this is one simple project. Okay, this is simple project, maybe any banking, whatever. So in that, everything should not write in a single class. Okay, see here, did we write everything in single class? This is main client code. This is Pojo class. Okay, this is one Pojo class. You can write service layer, DUO layer, like that. So how we can divide? Okay, one application can divide into multiple layers. How it is? First one, second one, third one. Okay, so first one we can call as a controller. What is controller? From where we are taking request. Once the browser hit a request, this reaches to our first layer. It is a controller. That means once the request given by the client, okay, that client may be any browser, any third-party application, or anyone. Okay, once the request given by the client, this will be reached to our controller. Okay, this will be reached to our controller. This is the first part. Okay, we should not write complete request handling. Example, if I give one login request, okay, what is written login page? Okay, that data whatever we are returning to back with client login page, that should not write logic in only one class. That should not logic in only one method. Okay, we should divide into multiple layers, multiple classes. Okay, how that layers will be communicated? Those will be communicated through by calling the methods. Okay, example, here I got a request, login request. So first I have to check. Okay, first I have to check that user is valid or not. That user is valid or not. Okay, once we validated that user is valid, that will be do in a service layer. We should not do complete logic in a single layer, so we have to divide. In the service layer, what we do? We will check that user is valid or not. How to check? How to check? that user data basically there in a database. Okay, once a user give a username password, once user give a username password from the UI, it should be reached to the controller. Immediately, we have to validate. We have to validate the corresponding user is valid user or not. That we will do in a service layer. Okay, how it will do? It will call service layer. Then immediately we should go to the DO layer. Okay, what did DO layer do? DO layer means the layer, the code which is handling the database code, which is talking to database. Okay, which is talking to database. This is called repository layer, database layer. There we can put as a repository annotation. So I'll go to, with the repository layer code, I'll go to database, I'll get data. Okay, and I'll check again this user is valid or not. If the user is valid, I'll send a response back. Okay, so what we are doing here, one single request, we are converting into multiple. What is multiple? The logic, validation logic will be doing in a multiple classes. What will happen if we handle everything in single class? There should not be a maintainability and readability. What is maintainability? Tomorrow there is some change in that code. Okay, someone new person is trying to understand that code. It is very difficult to understand. Okay, that is a problem. Example. So I'm taking another example now. So this is example login page. Sorry, not login page, registration page. Okay, here is a registration page. In the registration page, what it contains? Name, mobile number, okay, email, maybe age, maybe multiple fields, it will send. Okay. In this case, once I get a request to controller will read the all data. Controller responsibility to take the request or read data which is given by the user. Okay. After that, this will be sent back to the service. Okay. Yes, here I'm just read the data and send to the service layer. Service layer, what it will do? Service layer, it will be do some validations. What is validations? This example, mobile number should not be string or characters, should be numbers only. Okay, numeric type only. Email should be some format. Okay, @Gmail, @Yahoo. Okay, like that. A should be more than 0, less than 100. This kind of validations I want to do. That I can do in a directly service layer. And the validation is successful. Now I want to go to I want to store in database. Then I'll call repository layer, DO layer. We can call repository layer or DO layer. Data access layer. Okay, this is service layer. This is service layer. This is control layer. Controller or presentation. Okay, so here how the data is flowing from one place to another place. Okay, depends on the place, it will do corresponding operation. In the controller, what it will do? Only read the data. In the service layer, just it will do some validation. In the repository layer, save into DB. Once the data is saved successfully in the database and get response, that response will be sent back to the again service layer. Okay, this is DB response. DB response only it will give maybe success or failure. Okay, this DB response cannot be understood by user. Okay, example, if I insert one row into MySQL data table, what will happen? At the success case, it will tell one row inserted. Okay, end user don't know what is one row, right? We have to convert the database response into according to our user readable format. Example, user saved. This response will be sent back to the client. Okay, controller. The controller will return the data response along with metadata. What is metadata? There are some technical terms. Okay, this request successful, failure, some status code 200, 400. Okay, with some code, it will send the response to the client. In the client, that will show only response, and this metadata will not show directly browser. Okay, I will show a simple example metadata. Okay, if you see Postman. Okay, very soon I'll introduce about Postman tool. Okay, once we give request to here, it is saying something error. Okay, it is saying something error. This error, there is some format. That format it will show here. Okay, 404.4. Okay, whatever, something. Okay, so what I'm saying here for now, just to try to understand, the logic should not be write only in a single method or single class. We have to to make the code arrangement should be a different classes, different methods according to what logic doing. If bad case, what will happen? If I write everything in a single class, in the control only, I am reading data plus I am doing validations. Okay, validations I'm doing, and plus I'm also doing database save. Okay, I'm also doing response return to client. If I do all things in only one class, one method, what will happen? I got one error. What error? While storing into database, we got some error. Okay, that error we have to identify. So what we'll do? We have to understand complete logic. We have to understand complete logic. We have to change the code. We have to test all the code. Okay, complete code and redeploy. But here what will happen? Only database exception came. I'll go to corresponding layer, database layer, repository layer. Here I'll check the logic, what is happening. I'll change here only. So remaining classes will not do compile again. Okay, directly you can deploy. Okay, based on exception, we can understand from where we got exception. What is the reason? We'll go directly to that layer and we'll do the changes. Okay, fine. So finally, we are writing 3 classes here: controller class, service class, deliver class. Okay. In the project, we have one more model may chance to come. That is integration layer. This is integration layer. What is integration layer? Sometimes our application will not connect to database. This is required to connect to some other applications. That time we need to integrate our code with a different application to tag. Okay, different application means, example, this is SBI, right? I told to connect with the Redbus. Okay, just connect to Redbus. This is different application, right? To communicate one application to another application, we have to write one more module that should be independent of our application. This is called integration layer. What it means integration? Attaching one service to another service. Okay, so these two will be communicated through some REST API. This is secondary part for now. Okay, REST API it will communicate, not database call, not Java code. Okay, fine. So I told about we have 3 classes here. 3 layers we have. 3 layers have 3 classes or multiple classes. Fine. In the Spring applications, okay, in the Spring applications, about same yesterday point, who will create the object for the class? Who will inject the data to variables?
Container.
Okay, Spring IOC container responsible to inject the, first create the object, inject the variables. Okay, in XML way we define like this by creating a beans. Okay, beans property value, this kind of tags we return. But in annotations way we have 3 annotations here. Okay, first one is controller, service, repository. If our code, okay, if our code acting as means our code is dealing with the DAO layer or database access. Okay, dealing in the sense our code is maybe responsible. DAO logic, then make the class as a repository. Then make or put repository annotation on top of class. Okay. Second point, if our code is responsible for service code, okay, then put service annotation. Okay, if our code is dealing requests or responses, then use the controller. Okay, remember these points. I will cover one by one. Request, response, then place that as a controller under the class. Okay, fine. So in this example, I'm creating another example. Same code is same but different example. Spring Java project, Spring app 2. Okay, Java ID is fine. Okay, now tell me what are the different jar files required?
For bean expression conf line.
Okay. So I can add like my external libraries, or else maybe there is some other support I can add by existing application also. This maybe Spring application 1 using which jar files? Same jar files I want exactly. Then I can use like this. Go to project. Before you did libraries tab, but now there is already one project is there using libraries, some jar files. I want to use same jar files. Then go to project, select the jar files, select that project. Automatically, whatever the Spring application 1 project using jar files, same jar files will come to our Spring application 2. Okay, let's see it work or not first. I'm also not sure. This I'm checking. Okay, I'm writing on package from example 2. You see package name. Okay, in this package name, in that I'm writing same classes. I'll paste here. Okay, student class. I'll paste. Okay, in the example 1, we did configuration in the XML file. Now we are going to do with the annotations. So this is the class, employee class, dealing with what? Maybe this is service, take a service layer. Take this is service layer for now. So I can make like this. It is not coming jar files. Let's share manually. Oh, that should work. Not sure. Okay, I'm deleting this. Now we add jar files. Command login required. Okay, next one is lib folder. Okay, AOP not required. Tell me one by one. Spring beans, context,
Spring expression.
Spring core. Okay, let's try this. These 3. Okay, apply, close. Okay, I'm putting @service annotation. It is coming now. Okay, this is service class, and student class also I'm making a service. That means now these class objects will be created by Spring IOC container. To tell like that, I'm adding annotations. Okay, to tell like that, I'm adding annotations. Okay, here I did not cover one more point. There is one more thing, component. If you don't know exactly, the code responsible for service or repository or controller. If you don't know that, we can use @ component. Okay, we can use other component. So here we can place other component, but also fine because we don't know this class is service or repository or controller. Okay. If I place these three annotations on top of the class, okay, if I place these three or four annotations on top of class, okay, Spring IOC container will be responsible for to create the object for class, to create object and inject data to the class. Okay, this is responsible for Spring IOC container. Okay, I'm placing here. Okay, here I don't know what is the value I have to inject. Okay, now how to mention to value inject? We can use one annotation we have. Okay, I think that is value annotation. Okay, we can place here SID value I'm putting 101. Okay, name. Okay, this is the class as same student. I'll check later. Okay, so here I'm creating one more class, client class, whatever we create a main method, main client. Okay, take a main method and create a container. How to create container?
Application context.
Application context.
CTX equals to new class topics.
New annotations. This is annotation, right? You can use annotation application context. Okay. Now I'm asking CTX dot get bnaf. I can give this exactly class name. I can give ID or I can give like this. Here no XML configuration, that's why I'm giving a directly class name dot class. Okay, this class return a object from the container, student object. Here I'm calling s dot print student. Now check it will work or not. Forget resource. Class not an exception. Target resource. Okay, what are the missing here? Class 2. Commands can be pointed for expression.
Expression.
Check the expression as
నాకు టైప్ కాస్టింగ్ అవసరం కదా.
టైప్ కాస్టింగ్ అవసరం లేదు. మనం డైరెక్ట్గా క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ చేసి ఈవెన్ XML లో కూడా ఆ పాయింట్ చెప్పలేదేమో. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద వన్ వే టు గెట్ type casting. Another way is this I'm taking directly. Instead of giving the key, I can give directly object type. Object type. Okay. Employee dot class. So type casting not required. Directly written is same object. If you give a key, you don't know what is the type written, right? But if you give the class here, that container know this class object only I have written. Okay, this is generic concept simply. The source code not available. This is generic concept. So based on the type what we are giving here, that type only written. Okay, let's see our client code. We added expression or not? No. Just add expression, Spring expression dependency. Let me check in Google. The component scan. Component scan. Okay, wait. Sorry, I forgot one thing. One topic. Component scan. I have discussed one more topic. Wait 1 second. First, I'll write and I'll discuss that. You see what I'm writing. I will explain later one by one. Configuration. Component scan. Have to provide some value base package. Base package. Let's try now. Showing component scanner. Let me check this. Target source. Target source. Spring OP. Okay, let me add Spring OP. Student 2. Student component is there. The package name come example 2. No qualifying pin phone come example to student. It is saying there is no student class object created. So what is the reason? Go to app config, component scan from example to the package name mistake. Okay, we got a data. So here what we change the code. Okay, I forgot to tell one thing. We need to add AOP first, annotation approach. Okay, Spring AOP annotation also required. Apart from that, what we did here. This is a common component to make any class, okay, to eligible for component scan or to create a Spring AOC content object. We have to add any of these 3 annotations. Okay, we have to any of these 4 annotations. If you know what is the code exactly, if it is a service layer, use the service annotation. If it is a control layer, you use the control annotation. If it is a repository layer, repository means DO layer access. You can use the repository annotation. If you don't know all these types, exactly you cannot decide, use the component. Okay, this is a parent, these are childs. Okay, then component for we added for the to Spring IOC content create object. Value for to inject a value data Okay, to inject data to this variable. Here I hard coded. If I want to read from external files, I can do like that. Previously we used the XML file. Right? I will create now application properties file. Okay, in properties file already we know this is not much complex, only key value data. Properties. Okay, first I'll create file. Okay, app.properties. Okay, here what I'll provide SID equal to 10, maybe 201. Okay, what is second one? Sname. Sname is I'm giving Karthik. Okay, this Java course not required. This is not Java, right? Only simple file. Third one is course. Course I will give. Okay, MVC. This is the key and value as specified. Okay, not like XML, simple key value format. So to read dynamic data from the file, if I want to use static, I can use like that. If I want to use dynamic, I have to use the one variable like this. Here provide your key. What is the key? ID, SID. Okay, provide SID. That means it will go and get the data from the properties file. Wherever key is found, inject that value to here. On name, just name, dollar symbol, sname or name, sname course. Okay, third one is a course, dollar symbol. Why using dollar symbol? This is dynamic data, so go and get from the some external file. Where is the file name given? Application properties file. How is Spring know application properties file? In the app config, we have to provide one annotation, import resource we have to use. Import resource. Okay, in the import resource, we have to give the file name. App.properties. Okay, let's see it work or not first. Run this application again. Throwing error. He's saying line 1 XML document class path properties invalid. Next exception is content is not allowed dollar. Okay. Okay, import resource not correct. I think import. Import the resource. Okay. Property source inside should work. We got a output. Okay. So I'm telling to Spring container. This is the properties file. There I maintain my dynamic data. You go and read the data and inject to my object while you creating. Okay, while you creating, not other ones. Okay. So here in this case, what is configuration, what is component scan, I'll discuss later. Okay, this topic. So the thing is only to understand about component annotations and value annotations. Component annotation part to make that class eligible for Spring IOC container, create the object. Okay, value for to inject the dynamic data. Okay, from the external file to the our variable. Okay, that is up to your fine. So we'll go for app config. Here what app config, first thing is configuration. Okay, what is configuration? If I want to register or if I want to what is configuration? If you want to register.
If you don't mind, component just a definition, it is responsible. What is that? I think you didn't provide.
Component. Okay, last
See,
video, no?
by using this container knows about that is
If you don't know like exactly what code is doing, okay, can I cover this?
not that point. Container knows like it is to create the object, something you have specified just now.
So if you place any of this annotation, container knows, okay, I am a container to create for these classes. What classes? Which classes contain any of these annotations? Okay, example. Here in this class project, we have two classes. One is student class, another one is employee class mainly. So student class, we define component. Okay, employee class, I did not define component or service or controller or repository. So if I ask Spring IOC container, please give me student object, sorry, employee object. If it give or not, I am asking employee object. So if I ask employee object, the container will give or not. But check employee object contain any shared annotations? Controller, repository, component, service, these annotations are there. That means Spring IOC container don't know about this class. Spring IOC container will not create object for this class. So Spring, if I ask Spring IOC container, give me employee class object, that it will tell I don't know what is employee class. Okay, how it will tell? Just run this. I'm asking to give employee class object, it will give or not. It will throw error. So no qualifier being found for employee. Okay, employee class object been not found. Okay, because you did not define any stereotype annotations. That is why I did not create any object for that. Okay, if you ask me to give an object for employee class, how can I give? Okay, how to make this class as a bean class, Spring bean class, we have to add any of this annotation, service, repository, controller. Okay, when to use which one I will tell later. For now, I'm adding the component. Okay, if you tell component, here we have a constructor. By calling this constructor, it has to inject the variables. Right? How container will inject the variable directly like this? By calling this constructor, how to say that? In XML, we did that. There is a constructor org tag is there. Like that, we return in XML. Remember, right? In XML, we return constructor -org to inject the variable through constructor. Property for to inject to setter method. Here, how to make? Let's check in Google. Value annotation. Inject constructor data. Okay, check this. Post constructor. Okay, I will convert this constructor into where maybe directly setters and getters. I will check this. How to inject through variable. Okay, how to inject variable through construct injection. There is an auto concept. I have to cover that. For now, I am giving directly setters and getters. Okay, how to generate setters and getters? Source, generate setters and getters, select all, generate. Now tell to container for this variable. For this variable, inject the data from the properties file. Okay, in the properties file, first I have to define. For employee class, we have a EAD, ename. For EAD, give 3001. For ename, give start type. Okay, start type. Just give the annotation here at the right value. How to write? How to inject the data with XML way? Sorry, in XML way, we know already there is construct org, but in annotation way, we have this value annotation. Instead of value, what I have to provide?
$.
Dollar symbol. For bracket open close here, give the key where whatever key you given in a properties file. Key name. Okay, we injected. Now, if I ask Spring IOC container, this container give the update for employee class, it will give or not? It will give because we defined that bean annotation, maybe that component annotation, and we inject the data also. Okay. Now check and run this application. I'm in the employee. I have one method print employee. I'm calling that. We got a two output. Okay. Okay, we got two output. So now I want to ask one question. If I remove this remove this variable, not variable, annotation, what will happen? Just go through the flow. I remove just two annotations, value annotation in the employee class. First, try to think. I will tell you answer. What the first step? First, container will check that class contain component or service or repository controller annotation is there or not. It is there or not?
Yes, there.
Okay, so it will create a object. Next step is it has to inject the variable data. When it has to inject, if you tell to Spring IOC container, please inject the variable. How to tell? Value annotation. Value annotation I did not provide. So Spring IOC container not required to inject the variable data. Okay, that means by default this data is EAD is what is the EAD value? By default.
0.
Okay,
Sorry,
ename value.
null.
Okay,
So
so
null.
0 and null. This data will come. It will print. Okay, just see that it will come as it is or not for employee. 0 null. Okay, if we ask container inject the data from the by reading from the properties file, just enable these annotations. Okay, the first step is creating object. Okay, it is created. Next step is to inject the data. For injecting, we did not tell anything, so it will not inject. If you tell through value annotation, it will inject. Clear up to now?
Yeah.
Yes, Chanchu, just I want to mention that point in the document.
Okay, I will mention.
Because
Okay.
while
So next
in the
one
interview,
is
we used to read that document only. We don't go into this process.
I'll give clear material. Material not prepared yet. I'll give. Okay. So okay, let's make document quickly. Configuration and value annotation. Okay, configuration
Just
for
add that point here, just in component.
component line number already. If you don't know exactly the code, what it's doing. Okay, then we can use component directly. Simple point.
At the rate component or any of these annotations are used for to know the container about which class is bean class. Something which class
So
we have to
just
create the
simple.
object.
Okay, simple example. మన కోర్ రాస్తున్నాము ప్రజెంట్ మన
ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పొద్దు నువ్వు ఆ పాయింట్ మెన్షన్ చెయ్యి అని చెప్పిన సర్లే ఇట్స్ ఓకే ఏముంది
ఓకే
సారీ
exactly the code is responsible then we can make dot class as okay na find.
If you don't know the code is responsible, whether దగ్గర స్పెల్లింగ్ తప్పు రాసినట్లున్నా WH మర్చిపోయి ఫాస్ట్గా. If you don't know the code is responsible, whether service repository controller, then we can make that class as component, and all these annotations and all these 4 dash because of these 4 annotations, repository container knows to create the object.
If we apply
అది ఫ్లో లో నువ్వు చెప్పావు పాయింట్ నచ్చింది.
okay. If we apply any of
మనకి ఇంటర్వ్యూస్ లో గప్పకన్నా రాదు ఎలా చెప్పాలి ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ అనేది. ఇట్లా మనం జస్ట్ నోట్స్ రాసుకుంటేనే నువ్వు చెప్పినప్పుడు నోట్స్ బాగుంటది కదా.
okay, so if I to do or more easy, if you apply any of these annotations on top of class, then Spring IOC know that the Spring IOC know that container needs to be create object for those classes. Okay.
అక్కడ పైన సెకండ్ లైన్ లో WEA కాదు WH రాయివా అక్కడ ఫాస్ట్ గా ఏదో రాసేస్తున్నావు ఒక పక్కన. వెదర్ ఇఫ్ యూ డోంట్ నో ద కోడ్ ఈజ్ రెస్పాన్సిబుల్, సెకండ్ లైన్ లో సెకండ్ అక్కడ వెదర్ దగ్గర WHETH రా. WHE
no.
HETHER.
Yeah. Pull నాకు అంత ఇంగ్లీష్ రాదు, ఒక్క నిమిషం.
నాకు రాలేదు చెంచు.
అంతే కదా.
మళ్ళీ కొంతమంది నవ్వుకుంటారని. అది వెదర్ అంటే అది ఆ వెదర్.
ఓకే వెదర్ ఇప్పుడు వచ్చిందా? స్పెల్లింగ్ చెప్పు.
WHETHER.
ఓకే WHE కదా.
అది వెదర్ అంటే అది మన వెదర్ వాతావరణం.
సర్లే తర్వాత రాస్తారా అంత. Okay, next one, first read all these points. Okay, I'll back in 2 minutes. అదే కదా. Okay, so configuration. We want to register our custom objects to IOC container. Okay, we can use this also to make dynamic functionalities. Okay, dynamic functional means just we applied in the configuration class. We apply one component scan, property source, these things we apply, right? That is like we are telling to read the data from dynamic place, we are using property source. To apply all these things, we have to use the one annotation, base annotation, which is a configuration. Okay, configuration will occur multiple times. It will frequently come. Next, I'm going for the component scan. This is important topic.
Component scan Spring Boot kada?
Spring.
Okay, sorry.
Component scan. What is component scan? Up to now, I'm telling Spring IOC container will create object, we apply any annotations or service, repository, controller, component. Okay, how that Spring IOC container knows which classes is applied these are 4 annotations. How it knows? It will go and search complete each and every class. If it is search, how it will search? Which package it will search? Another example, I have another package. Here example 2, right? I'm taking another package, COM example 3. Okay, COM example. This is another package. Here I'm writing one new class. It is a faculty. Okay, this faculty class contains int FID, int FName. Okay, I want to inject to this one. Okay, so I return component. Okay, I return some value annotation. Okay, I'm giving some dynamic data, dollar symbol, faculty ID. Okay, so this name should not be same as variable name. This should be same with the property name what we given up as a properties file. Okay, here I'm giving a faculty name. Okay, in the properties file, I'm writing these 2 values. Okay, so ID I'm giving 4000. Name I'm giving okay. These are keys I entered in the properties file. That is fine. Next one is in this class I written here components is annotation, value annotation. All these things are fine. I'm writing one method public void print faculty. Same like depending application class also. Here what I'm doing, I'm taking one SOP. Okay, I'm taking one SOP. This faculty is faculty ID. Okay, it's faculty ID. I'm giving ID, FID, name. Okay, this is the SOP I printed. So the coding wise, up to now what we have knowledge completely is correct, right? If I ask faculty object, by Spring IOC container, it should return to me. Okay, it should create and return to me. Okay, this created. If I call a method, which method? Print faculty. It should print the corresponding output. So if I run this, it will work or not? Check. It is saying no qualifying being found. Some example faculty. What is the reason? See faculty class, any mistake we did. Any mistake we did?
No.
Then why it is
Property
given
define చేసావు faculty ID faculty name property file లో
Yes.
బీన్స్ లో ఆ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ డిక్లేర్ చేసావా? బీన్స్ లో గానీ ఓకే, కాంపోనెంట్ అంటేనే బీన్స్ కదా.
Any mistake? So there is one concept, component scan. So component scan, this I'm writing points here first. Observe the points, read yourself, okay? Component scan will check given package and sub packages. This point is very important. Very important interview question, okay? Given sub packages, if in those packages any class is found with stereotype annotations. Okay, instead of that all 4 names, component, service, repository, controller, instead of those all names I can call only stereotype. See, technical term only, not my term. These 4 annotations combined we can call as a stereotype annotations. Okay, these 4 annotations we can call as stereotype annotations. Okay, see, technical term only. Okay, if any class is identified with a stereotype annotation, okay, then that class information will give to IOC container. Okay, then IOC will create, will manage that class life cycle. Okay, just read all these points. So component scan will check given package and sub packages. If any class, in those packages, if any class found with stereotype annotations, okay, then the class information will be given to the IOS container. Okay, then IOS container will manage the life cycle. That is common. Okay, up to here, what you understood? So components can basically, it will check whatever we given the package and sub packages. So here check what package we given. The components can already use in the code. Okay, this is a part. In this component scan, what are the package are given? Com example 2. Okay, only in this package and this sub packages. Only in this package and this sub packages, it will be such the class files. But what is sub package means? I will cover first sub packages means. Example, I'll take, I have a very paint. One second. So example, this is my project structure. Okay, in that, this is my package. Package name is, okay, pack 1. Okay, this is pack 1. There is another package. Okay, another package name is pack 1 dot pack 2. Okay, another package we have pack 3. This is 3. Okay, more package I'm writing. Pack 3 dot pack A. Okay, These are fine, I think. Last package. Pack 5. So if I give component scan, okay, other component scan of what I'll give? Pack 1. Pack 1 I'll give, like here. Okay, I'll give pack 1. So what will happen? What will happen? In that case, pack 1 has one class a.java. Pack 2 has b.java. This observe scenario first. Pack 3 contains c.java. Pack 4, pack 3.package contains d.java. Pack 5 contains e.java. Okay, all these classes make a other component. That is all applied for all classes. Okay, now if I give component scan of pack 1, what will happen? It will search on subpackages. On subpackages means pack 1 dot any contain pack 1 dot contain any package to search the class also. That means it will search pack 1 dot pack 2. These two packages will search. Okay, but it will not search pack 3, this one, this pack 5, because this base package is different. Base is started with a pack 3, but here I am saying here this is a base package pack 1. From pack 1, after that anything contained, that also should scan. Okay, here pack 1 contain a, this is pack 1, and in that again pack 2 another package. Okay, so that means these two will be scanned. So second example, at the component scan. Okay, here I'm writing pack 5. Now tell me which package will be scanned and which class will be identified for component scan. It will search pack 5 and anything sub package. After pack 5, anything is there? Nothing is there. Only e.java will come. Okay. In this case, pack 1, what class will come? It will come A class file come and B Java file come. Both come, A and B. Third example, if I give component scan, pack 3, if I give pack 3, what classes will be scanned?
C, D. No, only C, sorry.
Why?
Because pack A is
It will scan pack 3. What is pack 3 inside that? C there. And it's subpackage. What is subpackage for pack 3?
pack A.
Pack 3 dot package, right? That also will scan. That means two classes will be eligible for component scan. For these two classes, Spring IOC container will create the object. That lifecycle will be managed by Spring IOC container. That is the meaning of component scan. So basically, component scan is a one thing here. Okay, component scan is one component. Okay, component scan is a one. Component scan is a functionality. Basically, it is a functionality to identify the any classes which is eligible for Spring IOC container lifecycle. Okay, first this property will be identified. Then these classes will be handed over to the IOC container. That IOC container will create object for these classes. Okay. Now tell me how component scan will be helpful. Component scan will search given package and sub packages. And in those packages, any classes are applied for those stereotype annotations. For those classes will be handed over to the IOC container. From here, IOC container will be manage that classes lifecycle. Is clear up to here? That is why I given here component scan. Okay, I'm telling search anything classes in the COM example 2 package is applied with a stereotype annotations. In this COM example 2 package, any class is found with a Spring IOC container, then those classes lifecycle please manage by Spring IOC container. Okay. Okay. So if I give come example 3, what will happen? If you give come example 3, what will happen? Only in the come example 3, it will check any classes is identified with the stereotype annotations. Those classes information will be given to the IOC container. From here, IOC container responsible to manage that Spring Bean lifecycle. Okay. So now, if I give COM example 3, only faculty will come. If I give COM example 2, employee and student will come. If I want to take both, how to take? Again, I'm telling definition. Component scan will search for package, given package, and sub package also. If any class is found with the component scan, found with the stereotype annotations. Now I asking question. I want to scan by component scan these 3 classes: faculty, employee, and student. Then what is the package I have to give here? If I give COM example 3, only faculty will come. If I give COM example 2, employee and student will come. If I want these 3, then what package I have to provide? If I provide like this, it will search COM package and sub package also. Sub package is after COM example 2 and example 3 both. That means these 3 will come. Is not correct? Check faculty unsatisfied dependency through F10. Okay. Java lambda string to int. Okay. Maybe double quotes. Faculty 4000. You check the region. Number format exception. Okay. Faculty ID, faculty name. See string, right? That is the problem. Okay. Now check. It is created these 3 objects. Now understood about component scan? Any doubt? Simple concept. Only one point remember. Component scan will search for given package and sub package also. Sub package means after given package dot like that. Okay, given package and sub package it will search. In those packages, any class is identified with a stereotype annotations. Those classes objects will be handed over to those classes hand over to the Spring IOC container. From here, Spring IOC container responsible to create object and manage the object. Inject in the variables, that is second story. Clear or not?
It's clear. Thank you.
Okay, I'm giving COM here. It will search all 2 packages. Can you go for another annotation? What we have? Bean. Okay, bean. Okay. Bean example. Okay. Bean example. So bean annotation endukante. So next one is bean. That's right, bean. Okay, if developer wants to create object. Sometimes there are requirements. Developer only will create object, and after that creation of object, the Spring IOC container will inject the variables. Okay, developer wants to create object, and that object will be hand over to will hand over to IOC, then we can write at bean annotation. Okay. This annotation alone we cannot use. First thing is this annotation. This is method level, not on class level. We have to apply this on a method. This annotation alone we cannot use. Okay, we should use with a use in at configuration class only. Okay, example, there is a one class, one class name, I can give inbuilt class only, session factory in the Hibernate, or I can give thread is simple. Okay, thread class. Okay, how to create thread? How to create thread?
Extend thread implements runnable.
After that,
Run method. We have to, sorry, I didn't follow correctly at the time.
okay, anyone?
Implementing runnable interface and overriding that.
After that, how to start thread?
We have to create the object for thread class, and then we have to start start something.
Constructor subset.
Okay, so here I want to create thread. Okay, thread is maybe some complex operation here. I will go simple university example. Okay, there is one class university. Okay, the way of creation of object for this university class is somewhat complex. Okay, when it is complex, we need to manually create an object. Okay, developer manually create object for student this university class and inform to the iOS container. I created object, then from here you take care. Okay, whenever someone wants these objects, give. Okay, so this I'll cover example first here. University. But to create university, I need to create first buildings. This is like high level code I'm giving, and students and faculty. Okay, fine. So this university classes depends on all these things. That means whenever we want to create university object, that internally depend on these three objects. So this time very difficult to create container. Okay, container very difficult to create object. What we do, developer will create object first. Okay, we'll create object. Okay, then hand over this object to iOS container. Okay, so we hand over this object to iOS container. From here, what will happen if anyone wants
నా వాయిస్
class.
వినపడడం లేదు.
అందరికీనా? I'm audible for everyone?
ఇప్పుడు ఓకే.
Okay. So I created student class, sorry, university class. So in the university class, object creation is somewhat complex. Okay, object creation is somewhat complex. For that, for complex purpose, I will take simple constructor. So this class is not given with a annotation, maybe value or component. Okay. So what I want to do, I manually create object for this, and I want to give this object to the iOS container. So anyone wants the object, they can use. Okay. So I have one method here, print university. Okay. In that, I'm just printing the university name. System.out.println. Okay. So now I want to create manually object to this class, university class, and hand over to the iOS container. How to do that? Go to the app config class. Okay. We cannot alone use the bin annotation. We have to create manually. In that, I'm writing one method, public. Okay. University. Okay. This I'm giving UNB. Here I'm creating object, return new university. I'm giving maybe JNTU. Okay. Now object I manually created. Okay. I created manually. So I want to give this object to the Spring iOS container. How to give? Other bin annotation. Okay. Now bin annotation, what it will do? It will take this object, whatever we are returning here. Whatever we are returning here, take this object and register this object with the Spring iOS container. Spring iOS container what? It internally contain one map object, right? This internally contains one map object. That map object is responsible to store all the objects, whatever we created by Spring iOS container. Okay. Here same Spring iOS container, we are creating an object, and it is informed to the Spring iOS container to register or object to iOS container. Okay. Just the example here. This is Spring iOS container. In that I told yesterday there is one map. That map will store the whatever object we created. Whatever object created by Spring iOS container. So first object may be student. It already created. Reference is S reference. Next, second object is employee. It is created. Third object I'm telling, I'm creating object, university object. Okay. Please register to take the iOS container. Please take this my custom object and register with you. Put into IOC. How to put that? I have to place a bin annotation. Bin annotation, what it will do? Whatever method, this method returning that object, put it into map. Key is whatever method name. Method name is universe. Okay. This is one example. I'm giving another example. Okay. We already know how to create database connection. Okay. We already know how to create database connection. Now here I want to create database connection. How to create? I'm writing one method, public connection. Okay, MySQL connection. This is the method. Here I write logic. What is the first step?
And register. Class
Okay,
dot
register, maybe class loading. What is the code? Class dot for name. Okay, class load, and I decided comment for now. Next, connection object.
connection con is equals to get connection.
Okay, and finally I'll return the connection object. Return maybe connection con equal to driver manager dot
Get connection.
okay, URL, comma, username,
Awesome.
comma, password. Okay, this is throwing some exception. By using try catch we can handle, or we can use throws also. Okay, URL I have to take from outside JDBC MySQL. Just try to write JDBC :MySQL :/localhost :3306/starttext. This is database name. Username is root. Password is root. Okay, up to here is everyone knows. Again, load the class also required. How to load class? Class dot. How to load class?
Class dot for name on driver.
From MySQL JDBC. That is the correct, na? Check the mistake, na? Okay, JDBC MySQL. From MySQL JDBC driver type only spelling mistake. See capital D. Okay, from here I want to return this object. Okay, this is some more complex operation. First we have to load the driver, register the driver, and create a connection, username, passwords. These are all some more complex operations. What I will do, I will create manually object and I will hand over this object to Spring IOC container. How to do that? We can do that by using a configuration object, configuration annotation, and second one is bean annotation. Alone bean we cannot use. We have to use with the configuration only. Okay. Anyway, configuration we already added. Now I'm going to add bean for this. Okay. Okay. We have to return the value. How to return? Return here object. Make it into outside. By default null.
This is third type, creating the bean. At the rate of bean means Chenju.
Third
The
type
at the rate bean. Second type is at the rate component value component scan. Bean at the rate bean is, this is third type.
No, wait, let me tell you. Not third type.
Creating the object.
Okay. Now what will happen? We know how to create object, not how to. We want to tell to Spring IOS container, please create object for this. Okay, and inject the values to tell by using a stereotype annotation that already we know. So some cases what will happen? Sometimes object creation complex logic is very much complex. Okay, developer needs to handle that object creation logic. Okay, that means we have to create object. Then after creation of object, we have to hand over that to Spring IOS container. If we hand over to Spring IOS container, after that anyone wants that object, they can call by using a context.getBean method. Okay, so want to register our custom object, our custom created object, Spring IOS container, we can use a bean annotation. So bean annotation directly we cannot use. Maybe we cannot use like this directly outside any classes. If a place like this should not work, do not work, because in this class it is not a configuration. This is only component. Bean annotation alone will not work. It will work with only configuration. So that means that class should contain a configuration annotation and that method should. Okay. Now what will happen? Here we created two objects. One is university object, another one is connection object, database connection object. What we are saying? I container, I created object. Okay. Basically, you create object. I know that. Right now I create object. Okay. In iOS container, already one map is there. In that map, container created object. Container create means employee object already created by container. Student object already created by container. Okay. Faculty object created by container. Now I have customer object. My customer object also I want to register with you. Okay. My customer object also I want to register with you. How to register? By using bean annotation, by using configuration annotation. Okay, we can register. So I created here. If I put bean annotation, what will happen? This object, whatever written in here, this method written in object, okay, that object will be stored in the IOC container with a key as a method name. Key as a method name. And second one, this object, what is the object? Connection object. Connection object will be stored by iOS container with a key as a MySQL connection. Sorry, MySQL connection. Okay. Now in my code, okay, I am a client. My code, I want university object. How to call? Right now, university object there in a iOS container. How to call? How to get that method? I can get context dot. What is the method to call? Context dot.
Get university.
Get a bean method. Get bean method. Provide this key. It will get the object. Or else we can provide another approach is university dot class. Why we need to provide university dot class? Why we need to provide key? I will tell later. There is some type by name by type for difference injection. I will tell later. So we can provide by key or by class type. So in both ways we can identify. Okay. And second case is I want to get a connection object from the iOS container. How to get? Get bean MySQL connection is the key. Then get a corresponding database object, is a connection object. Okay. Here, what is the main thing? Bean annotation. Bean annotation is my custom created object. I want to register to Spring iOS container. That is the main point. My custom object. My custom means developer only created. I created. So I want to register my object to you. If I register my object to you, what will happen? If any client, other person, they want this object, they can call from you on directly. Okay, fine. This is bean annotation. Now tell me, I created connection object, I created university object. Now I'm asking. Okay, now first I'll remove this bean annotation. I'll show to you. Okay, in the client, I'm calling the one method university dot ctx dot get bean of. I can provide alias name also. What is alias name? Alias name is maybe I'm taking university. This is a key. For now, I'm taking key method name. Okay, basically I'm expecting this as a university object. U. Okay, we have to do typecasting because we got a object type. University. Okay, up to here fine. In the university, I'm calling one method. This is print. Print university. The public. Make it public. Okay. It is printing. If I run this, what will happen? Basically, this university object should be there in a iOS container, but we did not register that. We did not make any component or did not give any bean annotation here. Okay, it will give error. Sorry, here bean annotation already there. Sorry. Now check. I'm running the class with throwing exception. No bean found university. Okay. Now only I'm changing one change here. Okay. Just enabling this bean. If I just enable the bean annotation, what will happen? This object, that means this method, whatever returning that object, will be registered with the Spring iOS container with this key. So if I give this key, the student is university object. Now run this. We got a J into a university. Okay. Next, I'm calling one method, same. I'm asking the connection object. Connection object, MySQL, or the key I provided here. Method name as a key. There is no bean annotation. This is commented. Okay. It is written connection object. CON and typecast to connection. This I'm printing this, and connection object as I'm printing, not doing anything. If I print, what will happen? If that object is registered with a Spring IOC container, okay, if this object is registered in IOC container, then return this object. If it is not registered, then return a null because it is not found. Or give an exception. Giving exception. See that no bean name with a MySQL connection because we did not mention a bean annotation. That means we did not register this object to the Spring iOS container. Now this I am enabling. That means what? Please register whatever object returning from this method. That object register with a Spring iOS container with key as a method name. Key as a method name. It is registered. So running this should print a corresponding connection object. See that any error? What is the problem? It is not loaded. Tom MySQL driver not found. What is the reason? We did not add MySQL jar file to our class path. How to add?
Build path. Add externals.
I downloaded into here compressed. No? MySQL connector. Okay. Now I added. Mostly should work. We got a connection object. That means now tell me anyone what is the bean annotation purpose? What is the bean annotation purpose?
If developer wants to create object and that object will hand over to IOC, then we can write bean. Means bean annotation. Means like component means for Pojo classes we are using.
Okay. Correct.
It bean
No,
one
not
type
about
is settled
Pojos.
bean inside XML files we are creating the object, that is one type. Second, at the rate of component method annotation we are using, that is second type. For Pojo class, something like setters and getters. So if you have, then third type is creating the object. I think this is the third type. But maybe it is manually creating the object. Means if you give annotation at the rate of bean, that does not mean manually we are not creating the object. Container only creating the object. But annotation, because of giving annotation, container only creating the object.
If you apply CDF annotation, container will create object. If you apply bean annotation, means we are creating and we are returning the object to container.
We are returning the object to container means where we are returning. Just we are.
See here, whatever this address method, in this method, what
yeah,
is it
return
doing?
connection. Yeah, that is yes.
whatever object returning from this method, that object will be registered with the Spring IOC container with the key as a method name. Then any other person, example here client, he is different person, he wants MySQL connection object taking.
Yes, Chanchu, got it.
Okay, in the case of faculty, what will happen? What happened here? I told only component annotation. That means Spring IOC container only responsible to create object, inject the variables, and complete thing will be managed by the Spring IOC container and it is stored into that container. Later, anyone wants, they can call with that key. That key we can provide key name or we can provide type also. Even here we can replace here. In the case of university key, I can give directly university.class. How it will find? By key it can find, by type also it will find. Okay, that is another concept. Here also same. MySQL connection.class. Okay, by type, by giving the key also it will get, by giving the type also it will get. What that mean? If you give key, what will happen? Container check this key is exists in our map or not. Already we have multiple objects with some keys. If this key is found, get the corresponding object. This is this approach. For line number 19, container, any this type object if we have, this type object if we have, just get to this object to me. Okay, this is by key, by type, by name, by type. Okay, that is new concept, again it will come. Okay, we covered component scan, bean, configuration, value also we covered. Auto while I'll cover later, value cover later, qualify I'll cover later. Maybe later means if we have interest today 6 o'clock. If you don't have, I will tell you timings tomorrow or Monday. But main thing is it is a Spring class, very important. Okay, very important means if you go interview, 30% questions from the Spring core. 30%. Definitely they will ask how many contacts we have, what is component scan. Okay, how did it been? Okay. There are many concepts in the Spring core, not only these three. We have discussed some more. This will go at least 3-4 days again. Once it is clear, Spring core, MEC, JDBC, these are very simple, and Spring Boot is very, very simple. In Spring Boot also complete this concept, right? Anyone have experience on Spring Boot? There also we have component scan, configuration, service annotation, repository, right? All we have in Spring Boot also. That means Spring Boot is built on top Spring only. If you know Spring, Spring Boot is nothing. Okay. If you don't have questions, just I want to ask one question.